two things can be true. And I think that the T-Mobile customer, more so than AT&T or even Verizon, those customers are in tune with network performance more than the other guys. So with that being said, if they see a degradation in performance, if anybody's going to know, it's the T-Mobile customer versus that of AT&T and Verizon. So I think what I'm saying has more validity than you may be giving it. I really, really do.
So,
At the end of the day,
yeah.
if we have a carrier that is sitting on X amount of spectrum and nobody's like, this is problematic. Especially like, look at the latest root metric scores. Like they won a few markets and stuff, and that's great. This is the best they've ever performed, and that's great. But I mean, going from an F to a D is good, but you still fail the class. You know, I mean, you
Yeah,
still fail the class.
and you just said two things can be true at once. When
Okay.
we're saying T-Mobile's the grower of the industry, we're thinking about, who is the vast majority of people. They're the people that are less in tune with all this stuff. And T-Mobile more than ever is marketing to those people that are less in tune, that just want, savings. They recognize some celebrities they put in the commercials. They resonate with the price lock, even as much of a lie as it is. These are the people that T-Mobile is getting to switch to them. And this is why we're saying T-Mobile's the grower of the industry. T-Mobile's getting more uninformed customers, less of the speed testers, less of the people that are more in tune with it.
And all I'm saying is the consumer has to take some semblance of responsibility for those decisions. That's all I'm saying. I just think that personal accountability's got to take some, it's got to matter at some point. We can't keep pointing the finger all the time. That's all I'm saying.
I've always offered my recommendation to people. They've said things or asked me, like carrier X calls been dropping, the network's been congested, I've been seeing a lot of buffering video. Should I switch carriers? The answer is absolutely yes. And it really doesn't even matter who the carrier is. It's not the point. The point is you should be supporting the companies that give you the services that you feel like you're paying for. A good business transaction involves someone paying for something and getting what they think they're paying for, right? So the perception and the results meet, at some kind of like intersection. Now, when a customer is paying for something and they're not getting what they feel they should be, that's where the disconnect happens, right? So I agree with you, B. I think that's what it boils down to. If a company X is meeting those terms, they stay with them. And I think if company X doesn't, they should leave. And I think people should be more willing to leave. And they should also celebrate and be more willing to stay as, company X meets those standards, and that's the thing. You're not going to leave and you're not going to stop spending money with a company so long as things are great. When things start to kind of fall off, that's where I think you get those churn opportunities and people should be shopping around, and I've said that to people on all the networks. They say things like, oh, AT&T used to be great, it's got problems. Well, you should leave and maybe give them a consideration at a later time once they've kind of figured things out. Same. And I've had customers say that about Verizon, congested, old network, they haven't upgraded radios and antennas in a long time, blah, blah, blah. Leave and then come back, if they can offer you something better at a later time. That's the way you should play. You should play the field, and that keeps companies honest, and it keeps the competitive juices flowing in the industry. They compete for your business.
And to B's credit, I think that's the point that he was trying to make. That even though consumers,
there you go, Frank.
Even though consumers know that the network is degrading, or that the performance isn't there, or that their calls drop, or their text messages double send or don't send at all, as long as they get what they think they're paying for, they stay. Even though they know that someone is having X performance improvements on X network because they had a bad experience with that network 10 years ago that doesn't apply today, they're not willing to switch over because they don't want to deal with the hassle of switching to another carrier, even though that carrier has been proven by other people in their circle to be more reliable than the network that they're using. Like for me, even though the T-Mobile network is great where I'm at, I have seen it degrade. And what did I do, Sneed? I immediately, at the opportunity, moved my primary line out. The rest of the lines on my account are still with T-Mobile. I'm slowly trying to get them to move over. because I've compared the two networks and I've confirmed for myself. A speed test doesn't tell you everything, and being the fastest doesn't necessarily mean being the best. There's a correlation there that falls off and consumers don't understand. And until they accept the fact that they know these things and they're not using them to make their decisions with their wallets, stuff's not going to change.
SMT Nation, it is time for me to introduce to you Aura. Give you guys an incredible suite of cybersecurity protections to keep everything that you do online safe, keeping you safe from identity theft, scams, online threats, including protections for your entire family. They offer pretty much a worry-free trial period. Obviously, the pricing is very competitive, starting at $12 per month. They've got one simple and easy app for you to use. They've got incredible features, $1 million in coverage, 24/7 expert fraud support, transparent pricing, the money-back guarantee at 60 days with a free trial, no strings attached. So with the odds of falling victim to an online crime being 1 in 4, this would change everything. Really should check them out. The financial fraud protection is worth its weight in gold. Help keep your kids protected within boundaries that you set forth for them. Proven to be the fastest, most reliable fraud alert system. And it's as simple as choosing your plan, simply setting up how you're enrolled, and then getting notified for all the things that it's monitoring. Start your free trial now. Use our link. It's down in the description, and it's also here on the screen, aura.com/Sneed. You guys can click the URL. It's hyperlinked down in the description. And again, it's up here on the screen, aura.com/Sneed. Protect yourself from all the digital threats that's out there in the world.